thank you for celebrating with us. Today, we will be united in purpose. And to that vein, you will see an amazing, packed show called United in Purpose. And it will be co-hosted by our very own Dr. Michelle Taylor and our board chair, Rick Detweiler. And one of the best parts of today is we will be debuting Live United 2027, our strategic plan that we've been working on for over 18 months. And we are so excited for you all to see and feel what Live United 2027 is all about, and more importantly, jump into action afterwards.
Yeah, so Live United 2027 represents our continued commitment to helping kids and families thrive. It is really meant to be both grassroots and grass tops, or micro and macro, and in the most simplest way, right? We help kids at the individual desk, but at the same time, we're fighting for systemic change. Equity is threaded in everything that we do, and there is absolutely nothing we can do without you, our partners, all of you. You're critical to the success of the plan. You are embedded in the plan itself. And lastly, we have in there collective impact, creating deeper partnerships, and ultimately having greater relevance, right? About creating meaningful change around social issues that we all care about. Our partners are at the heart of our success, and we're grateful for all of them. You know, from the many walks of life in different sectors, from agency partners, and a lot of them are here today, school districts, government, our volunteers, foundations, corporate partners, and of course the thousands of individuals who advocate and give to us every year.
And we were stuck, and without serious partnership, without people like yourselves on the front lines, and without individuals like the leadership of United Way, Ricky and Michelle, Dan, your whole teams, the extra work you did. When a lot of people were staying home, you were working overtime. And because of that, not only did we make it through one of the most challenging times in our state's history, but we came out thriving.
Our Live United 2027 plan, right? This isn't about us. This isn't about United Way. This is about the collective we. This is about building a stronger community where our kids can read on grade level by the end of third grade. This is about ensuring that there's affordable housing for those in the community that need it for everyone. This is about providing equity within the programs and services we do so that we can close the wealth gap. This is about ensuring, right, that we have access, all of us, to the healthcare services that we need. This is a we plan. And we, me and my colleagues at United Way of Delaware, we can't do it without you. So I challenge you, when you go home, read through it, right? Email us. Let us know your ideas and thoughts, because in order to get something different, we're going to have to do something different.
We can build and help support and develop a community that helps everyone reach their maximum and full potential. And you know, regardless of you know, their zip code, their ethnicity, their religion, anything, they should be able to reach their full and have access to opportunity. We know there's work to be done, but we fully believe that we can get there.
211 is a resource of hundreds of partners that are helping Delawareans have the resource they need at the time they need it.
Delaware's helpline is our secret sauce. It's the state's secret sauce. It doesn't have to just be about an emergency. It's always an and. There are folks that have crisis, and they're in the middle of crisis. We're there for you. There are folks that just have information needs when it comes to social services, health and social services. We're there for you too. So Delaware 211 has a really important and powerful program associated with it. It's Help Me Grow, HMG. It's there for our population of Delawareans who have new ones in the home, literally infants, so developmental screenings, resources for our youngest Delawareans, and even prenatal as well, to make certain that they're set up to thrive very early on. We have had a tremendous impact this year with Delaware 211, and when I say we, I mean us. It's a collective. It's a perfect example of the collective impact strategy, collective impact model. Our partners like Housing Alliance Delaware, Stand By Me, Habitat for Humanity, Weston Neighborhood House. Those are the folks that we refer to. Those are the folks that are a part of Delaware 211. We've had tens of thousands of calls this year, and we've made tens of thousand referrals. One of the most important parts about 211 and our impact, it's not just the numbers, it's not just the number of inquiries that come in, it's the fact that we actually circle back with you. The closed loop system. So if you call in, dial in, text in, chat in with a need, often by the time we talk to you, we've uncovered a few needs. So we circle back with you to make certain that all of those needs were met. And if they weren't, what can we do to help you meet those needs for a second time around? And then we always take the opportunity to try to help you not have that need again. So with programs like Stand By Me, we always make certain that that's an open opportunity for no cost counseling from a financial perspective to help you with whatever might have brought you to the chat or the phone to begin with Delaware 211. The future of Delaware's helpline is really building on the solid foundation and the success that we've found with our partners thus far. We have the opportunity to diversify what we do and with whom we do it, where we are curating those resources to make certain that we're getting them to you in a very hands-on way. It's more of a impactful one-on-one, almost like a concierge type of service, where we won't just refer you to the need, we'll actually help you work through the process for the need. We're able to do that as part of our future because we have a solid team now and we've got solid success with all of our partners that we can diversify and continue to evolve what we can do across the state.
Well, you know, financial empowerment has always been pivotal to steering families towards financial stability. We want to break intergenerational poverty. Let's watch this next video to learn a little bit more about it, and I think we're going to have a guest to talk a little bit, to share.
Right.
The overall goal for Stand By Me is to create an economically empowered community. We want people to have a certain level of self-actualization. So once they've finished with Stand By Me, once they've done their 12 months or their 6 months or whatever, they're able to do something now that they could not do before. Their spending habits have changed. Their saving habits have changed. My credit score was this, now it's that. I was doing this many transactions per month in my business, now I'm doing this many. This past year, we served over 7,000 new clients, 32 of which came through the Minority Small Business Program. We want to be able to serve in a more meaningful way. So that's not just changing your spending habits. We want to get to a point where we can, change your saving habits, change your investment habits as well. Many people do not even think, especially when we're talking about Alice communities, a lot of them don't even start saving for retirement until they're in their 40s or 50s. And we just can't have that. In terms of the Minority Small Business Program, 96% of Black-owned businesses don't employ anybody. So we really are going to get to the point where we're beyond starting a business and up to scaling a business. Stand By Me helps break the poverty cycle by helping people reach a certain level of financial self-actualization. Their saving habits are changed, their spending habits are changed, their investment habits are changed, and once you have all these changes, now we can start talking about some other stuff. It's going to be pretty hard for me to talk to you about mental health if you haven't eaten today. It's hard for me to talk to you about physical health if you're trying to figure out how you're going to pay your light bill tomorrow. These are the things that Stand By Me helps people with.
That was actually my coach right there, Steve Johnson. He does an excellent job at United Way. He's put a hand together for me. So the business that I actually came through the program for is called Sincere Sleepers. We're a Black-owned mattress company. We actually manufacture our own mattresses, sell them in Delaware and the surrounding areas. Our slogan is, we sincerely want you to sleep better.
Okay.
And don't lose sleep because you pay too much for a mattress. Usually as an entrepreneur, it's something that you, either you make a product well or you have some type of skill set that you do well. Selling some product or service, and often you get a tunnel vision in that particular thing. And what you're usually missing is someone to tell you what you're not good at. Right. And that's where United Way came in at, as having a mentor. Because mentorship is the key to any success, especially financial literacy, just in manhood and life, period. So, that's the key that a lot of, especially Black businesses, are missing, is someone who can tell them what they're not good at, advise them, and tell them the proper ways to grow in their business where they're lacking in.
Ways to do it.
Exactly.
Okay. So tell us, are there other successes that you've received, like any accomplishments that you wanted to share with us about your business and how the coaches have helped you?
A personal accomplishment is, my mentor, he pushed me to speak more, like to put myself in front of the class and explain to them things that I was doing in my business successfully, like leadership skills and developing a team. So often when you're tasked with speaking on something, then you have to go look in the mirror and do some research. And one of my successes, I would say, is actually growing through speaking about a subject that you think you're good at, but you really don't actualize how good you are until you really look at what you're doing wrong, and then be able to help people and lead people in a direction that actually makes you a better leader. So that was the greatest success, and I thank him a lot for putting me out in the forefront like that, because it helped me in my business.
Well, clearly you've been working on it as you sit in front of this crowd today, sharing about your successes, so kudos to you.
Yeah.
And Michelle, I think we talk about that secret sauce in financial empowerment. It's the strong emphasis on that one-on-one mentoring and what that can do either for an individual or for a business.
Absolutely. And I think you participated in the Minority Small Business Expo.
Yes.
Talk to us about why that was relevant for your business and other Black businesses.
It was very relevant. So before the expo, we had about 2 workshops where businesses came together. It wasn't as big as the expo, but businesses came together like in a networking and workshop platform where we would work on particular things like sales and marketing. And what it does is it creates a market where different business people that look just like you can share different ideas and perspectives. And the Black Expo was just that times 10. You know, you met different businesses, you learned what they do, you supported them, they supported you, and you really had the feeling that you're not out here by yourself. Like, it's other people that's going through the same things that you're going through and the same challenges, and the solutions are coming together, making like mastermind groups.
Thank you for joining us this
Yeah,
afternoon.
appreciate it.
Education opens doors to lifelong learning and opportunities that can really transform Delaware.
We can wrap around additional resources and programs to help both the individuals and the families thrive. And we can work with our partners at Dean, where we have our colleague, Regina Sidney Brown, leading this work, trying to work with our partners, Regina, to helping to get the whole sector to change, to be an advocate and a voice for the importance of out-of-school time, but challenging us as out-of-school time providers to do more, to work better, to work collaboratively, to increase our own talents and skills and resources so that we can have a greater impact.
Early student success helps us with the lifelong learning of our students and the growth that they have in that area. Reaching students at an early age supports us with their growth. It helps us with nurturing those spaces of deficits and just growth overall. I would say some of these successes that early student success has had within our students and our populations that we service. One, the engagement of the parents to be able to identify if there are any challenges, deficits, what things our students are really thriving with as well, which helps us really enhance those pieces and shows that the community and the schools the supports that we're offering to the students. We've had so many great partnerships that really support our students to help them engage, but also help them to just be able to learn and grow in those spaces. The future of early student success, when I think of that, I know I focus on the family participation, family involvement. I also think of the wonderful collaborations and partnerships that we have throughout the time and ones that we can continue to grow with to enhance our students with leveling up in terms of their reading and math scores, which we know to be somewhat of deficits within our schools. We would like to also make sure that we're focusing and continuing to thrive in the social emotional space. We want to make sure that our parents are receiving the resources that they need through our 2-on-1 and also through Stand By Me, which are some great resources that are housed at the United Way of Delaware. But we really want to make sure that the future is looking bright for our students, so we want to provide as much support as possible and resources to enhance our students, no matter what they're going through, that they still have a way out and there is a light at the end of each of the tunnels for them. But I look forward to servicing our students and ensuring they have the best possible in the education space.
And we welcome a dean who was actually one of the winners of the spelling bee this year. Congratulations. How did it feel to be the winner of the spelling bee?
It felt like I had a purpose there and that I won something that was special to me.
All right.
Fantastic. Great answer. Great answer. Tell us how you believe reading may have helped you with learning and remembering words.
It helped me in 2 ways. My dad put me on a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it helped me in the first way because I was finishing the book and I was learning. And it helped me in the other way of working on my spelling bee words.
Well, you said something very important. You talked about your dad and you talked about family and that kind of support, so that's very, very important. Give it up for Dad in here. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, Dean, I have a question for you. Can you share with us, what was the winning word?
Segregation.
I'm sorry?
Segregation.
Segregation. Segregation. Can you spell it for us?
Segregation.
Oh. Fantastic. Hey, and that was just kind of off the cuff. We're not even going with Adine. So fantastic. Thank you, Adine. We really appreciate you. Students cannot find jobs unless they explore and have the skills to find the job they love. We want to prepare students for the workforce or higher education so they can have a prosperous future. And to learn more about the United Way, helping students join the workforce confidently and prepared.
We're building and strengthening our youth, and we're then generating a more skilled and productive Delaware workforce. This year, through our investments and programs, we have served over 18,000 students in our career and college success. And these programs vary from middle to high school. We have our Guides program, which is mentorship and career exploration for the middle school. We have Stand By Me Next Gen, which does work with 9th, 10th, and through high school students, one with their college and careers in cash, where they're working on financial literacy, and also on career exploration. Our College Funding Project works on FAFSA completion, and that has been extremely important this year. It is about fostering the kids and facilitating their employability skills, their soft skills, life skills. It's also about providing students equitable access to career exploration activities and opportunities like work study and other resources. We also have a program called Young Men United, where we are supporting specifically young men of color, helping them starting in high school and mentoring them through high school and then through their college process to make sure that they are successful and then go on to a thriving career. And finally, one of the programs is Community Violence Prevention Initiative. And this program is extremely important and impactful for our students in the city of Wilmington. As we look at the future of career and college success, we want to continue what we're doing, but just do it bigger and better and bolder. We want to continue to increase the number of students who have that equitable access to resources and career fairs and work study opportunities. Finally, throughout all of these programs, we want to work on building developmental assets, because we know that the more assets students have, the stronger they're going to be throughout life and in their career and the choices they make. And we want to do this through out-of-school time programming, in-school programming, and just continuing what we're doing to make sure every child in Delaware has an equitable opportunity for their future.
So we're excited to talk to Naylin today. Naylin? Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
The pleasure is all ours, not just ours. The United Way of Delaware Student Summits give teens the opportunity to work alongside adult partners in creating learning experiences for others. We have over 1,000 teams that have participated in these events, and along with many partners who made it possible for us to have these programs and events created by teams, imagined by teams, and executed and kind of followed through on by teams. You work closely with that.
Yeah. So with the summit, the Latinos Unidos Summit, I am the founder. I created this because I went to the Black Student Summit with my best friend, Cindy Combs, and after the summit, I went home to my parents. I'm like, why don't we have one? And again, the family. So, as you said, family is a big aspect. My mom told me, and my dad too, they were like, go to your advisor. Because last year, when I thought of the idea, I was a junior in high school. Now I'm a senior. Junior year, I was the vice president of our Latinos Unidos Club. Senior year, I am the president, or I was, sadly. I sadly graduated this year, but I know my club is in good hands. But my mom's like, go to your advisor, share your idea. And my advisor, Miss Green, loved the idea, and the previous president, Stefania, helped me, and we created like a 40-slide, it was a lot, presentation to present to United Way, and they loved the idea, and obviously, you know, we're a big family now, so I'm excited to have this continue throughout the years.
Oh, absolutely. We're already planning our second year, so just so you know, right? So your legacy, you know, you were a trailblazer, it's going to continue. Why do you think that's important?
I think this is important because not only does it help myself, but others advocate our voices. It also shows that we're not just kids, and our voices do need to be heard, and we have our own opinions.
Well, we're firm believers that the student and the youth voice matters. But what is it that you want adults to know?
Like I said, just making sure like we are able to advocate our voices. We're not just kids with these silly little ideas. Our ideas do matter, our opinions do matter, and we're not just saying nonsense.
You absolutely are not.
No,
and we thank you for joining us this
evening. Thank you so much for having
me. Naylin. None of this can happen without equity. Every year we deepen our commitment to equity. This year is no different. True progress is only achievable when every member of our community can succeed, free from barriers imposed by historical injustices, systemic inequalities. Let's watch this short clip to show how racial equality and social justice we navigate every day.
We believe that a more equitable Delaware is not only possible but probable if we stay committed to this fight. In education, in financial empowerment, in student success, in our administrative capacity, in every way, the United Way of Delaware is committed to breaking down barriers that people of color face and rebuilding a stronger foundation, stronger policies, more equitable practices that are going to not just move the needle, but shift the paradigm. So it's a really exciting time, despite all of the bad things that are happening. And there are terrible things happening in this city, in this state, in this country. I see the youth pitching up. I see healthcare pitching up. I see educators pitching up. I see volunteers. I see over 200 volunteers in the Delaware Racial Justice Collaborative, and we're not stopping. So I am hopeful about what's to come, and I hope that many more people will join us, because membership is available for everyone, and there's space at the table. Join the movement.
So I look for public policy challenges, issues, opportunities that will allow us to move the needle for the most Delawareans. And when we look at things like economic justice, there are so many of us impacted by that. So moving the needle in that area is just one way to do it. The other area that I'm really passionate about is education, and particularly early childhood education. Talk a lot about reading in this state, and we know that we're not doing well in terms of our reading scores. And I believe that that starts with early childhood education. That actually really starts with the health of the mother while she's pregnant, but particularly the first 1,000 days or so of a child's life is when the brain is developing most rapidly. And so I look for policy issues like early childhood education that will really help us lift up entire populations. Well, the future is bright, and I think we have to remember that. I think optimism is key to our success, and so, I mentioned working with young people, I mentioned early childhood education, and what I get from both those youngest learners and our middle and high school students is the will and the desire and the chutzpah to keep moving. The next generation, they're going to do it. They're fired up, they're upset, as they should be, and they're willing to fight for each other, for one another, across race lines, across gender lines. They really just have what I feel is a community-minded approach to justice and to life, and I think we're going to see amazing things from them, and the best thing that we can do is support them and elevate their voices.
Equity, I know you said this a few minutes ago, is embedded in everything we do, right? And not just racial equity, but socioeconomic equity too. Rick, should we tell them about Alice?
Absolutely, yes. And let me spell that out for you so you know exactly when we talk about Alice. Asset limited, income constrained, and employed. Employed, I emphasize two words today, and employed. Alice are people working full-time and sometimes even more than full-time, a couple of jobs, and still not making ends meet. 40% of Delawareans are living below the Alice threshold. Let's watch this short video to learn and understand a little bit more about the many faces of Alice.
My name is David, and I was Alice.
I know what it is like to struggle.
I know what it was like to work hard and barely make ends meet.
I work hard, but can't seem to get ahead.
Alice may not be who you expect.
Chances are, you already know Alice.
It's hard to be Alice. At night when I go to bed and the day's over and I have to think about, okay, this got paid, that got paid, but my car sounds weird when I turn it on.
I was dropped from my health insurance and I needed health insurance.
Any emergency would wipe me out.
Now, the fact of the matter is, none of us knows what tomorrow holds.
I don't have the extras. I am Alice. It is okay to be Alice, but I hope my kids don't have to go through this.
We know that creating opportunities for Alice to thrive is critical to all that we do. If you are Alice, working hard, struggling to make ends meet, United Way is here for you.
Asset limited, income constrained, employed. Represents 40% of the Delaware households. People who go to work every day make too much money to qualify for any benefits, but not enough necessarily to thrive, or they're just one incident away from things. And so in our Live United 2027 plan, again, our plan, we want to be more intentional about lifting Alice up. We want to be more intentional about identifying and finding resources to help Alice thrive. We want to be more intentional, right, about working together to helping Alice kiss her or his landlords goodbye, right? We want Alice to be prepared for retirement and their kids' education. We are standing with Alice. But right now, I wanted just to stop and pause and talk about some of the key accomplishments during your leadership. When you think about it, you helped to lead us through the pandemic. when a lot of organizations, right, didn't understand or weren't ready and had to figure out how to react, our organization, instead of closing the doors, we expanded. We took 211 to 7 days a week. We expanded services. We worked with amazing partners to get additional resources. And you helped us to navigate. And one of the first things we did was get learning pods in place. We realized that kids, right, were going to have to go to virtual learning, but didn't have Chromebooks, right? And they didn't have the internet. And you talk about an inequity, right? And so thanks to great partners at DuPont and WISPIS and M&T and other partners, we were able to acquire some laptops immediately, get internet in individuals' homes, and that happened because of your leadership. You started this leadership. You told me, you said, Michelle, I want to increase the marketing. I want to increase the brand awareness, because we believe we're doing great work. We're not necessarily doing a good job of talking about it, right? And so we helped to elevate that. We increased our messaging. We started Impact 365 by partnering with DETV. Right. We knew the voice as with the youth, as we heard. We started the Black Student Summit. We started the Latino Student Summit. We had our first Minority Small Business Expo. We were intentional, right, about making sure everyone's voices were heard. You also helped to elevate, as you said earlier, the community's voice through public policy efforts, right? It's the place that you live in every day. And you wanted us to be intentional, right? That if we're going to try to be able to really to help families, we got to break barriers. We got to put policies in place, right, to get to the root causes to help more of our young people and families thrive. That was under your leadership. And then you wanted to make sure that our board was engaged. And we did this over the last year with Brian's leadership under the Live United 2027, where we wanted to make sure all of our board members and staff and community partners helped to create a plan that was ours, right, together. And so, you know, I know we said this earlier, like if I had to think of one thing, there were like lots of things. And for me, one of the things that I think my staff would echo in the room is you showed up. Like, you showed up. And you showed up to the events that we had. Relationships mattered. He would stop in the office and check on staff. If you had events with us, he was there, right? And so people are important to you. And so I want to thank you for your leadership, for your mentorship, right? And for where you guided us over the last 3 years. Oh, and we have a gift,
I was going to say, I hope there's no cue for me to speak at this moment, because you caught me at a moment. But thank you. It's been my pleasure.
And you don't have to open this, but this was a gift. We have gifts in here for you to say thank you.
It's been a pleasure, and there's no line for me here, but I'm going to take the chairman's privilege to share. But it is. It's been a real honor and a privilege. It's been an honor, a high honor of my service career, as I worked with a number of organizations to find myself working with United Way and a leadership team and a leader like you, Michelle. So while I'm privileged, it's been an honor to work with you. So thank you. I'm not going to say a whole lot because you know I can. I'm going to say thank you, and I'm going to say thank you all, because it's because of our partners as well that a lot of these amazing things can be done. So I'm grateful. I know there's favor, and I'm just honored to have been serving in this role with you all. Stop.
This is a perfect time to introduce our new incoming board chair, Brian Norrie, who is also the chair of strategy. Come on up and join us, Brian.
I did want to start, we're in that moment where we're talking about the strategic plan, and I think it needs to start with a bunch of thank yous. Thank you, Michelle, for your unwavering leadership of the organization. It's been amazing to watch you grow and really drive change in the state. Rick, we already acknowledged the standard you set for this role was probably a little bit too high, so we'll have to figure out some way for you to fall off the pedestal before the end of the night, if you could. I'd like to thank the United Way team. What you don't see is this plan doesn't come together overnight. It requires a lot of effort and dedication. We obviously build from a position of strength, but Lori and Dan and the whole entire United Way team did an amazing job getting us here.
Yeah.
Now, when we were going through the planning process, I was energized by the work of the team, the partnerships that we have that start from a position of strength to allow us to put together a plan that will take us out to 2027. But as I sit in front of you tonight, I'm inspired because it takes all of us. We've said it a couple times tonight, but looking at this room, I know that we're going to be successful in our endeavors because it's now time to roll up our sleeves, to get into the work.
So as we begin to close out, we have one last thing to celebrate before we close out. We're giving away a Cadillac XT4 at the courtesy of Auto Team Delaware. Tiara, take us away.
Oh my goodness, Mike, this car is great. Anyone who wins this is going to be super excited.
Well, I think you're right. It's a fabulous automobile, very, very popular. It's just the right size for just about everybody.
Delaware's United Way. You can win a car. What more can I say?
Peggy's getting out. All right, Peggy's getting out.
Got it. Yeah, are we actually filming now? I'm fixing my hair. I can't drive this car yet. Hold on.
Let me just say goodbye to my sweet Carmen. I'll see you when you're in my driveway.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Back towards the coffee shop.
Not like that. Not like that. When you get when you
they're gonna
come
edit
up
that
on-
out, like literally.
We've had a long-standing partnership with the whole team at Auto Team Delaware, and we have to say thank you. Thank you to Lee Asher. Thank you to the team. So clap it up for them. This drawing really symbolizes a collective effort to support Alice and other families and to create a more inclusive community. So we're very, very excited. Today we have 4 finalists or semi-finalists here, and they had to be here to actually be a part of the drawing. And so the person who we picked tonight will actually go home with a beautiful Cadillac. Yeah, did you guys see that outside? Did you see it outside? It's outside, so you can walk past it while it's a beautiful car. I want one myself, so I'm gonna be working on that. So I need, where's Chanel? You ready? Are you ready? We're gonna pick that, and the person who wins, we want you to come on down. It'll be like The Price is Right, and you'll come down really fast. You'll have to be really excited when you come down. So I just want to say our semifinalists, we have Carolyn Clare. We have Maggie Owens. We have Dr. Richard Plotziker. And we have Joseph Crumlish. And, these people, they were giving out of the kindness of their hearts. And now they can be going home with a Cadillac. That's pretty exciting. So encourage all of you all to give and give often. Ready? Let's go. Ready? Mix them up, mix them up. Get it around there. I think we got it. Drum roll. Okay, get excited. Let's see our winner. And the winner is Dr. Richard Plotzker. Come on down. Oh, yes. But we have to say he is a surrogate for his wife, Dr. Irene Plotzker. She actually donated, but he gets to get all the glory for today. She gets the car. Thank you so much for donating. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
We want to thank you for joining us for United in Purpose, hosted by myself and Rick Detweiler, and finishing off with Brian Norrie. You all have copies of the Live United 2027, and there's a QR code that's around the room, or it's on your name tag, or it's physically in the brochure, I think, if you want an electronic copy of this. And as I said before, that's just a written plan. The real work, the execution, is going to require us, the collective us. Lastly, I have to recognize my amazing colleagues. I'm going to take the liberty to brag for a moment. United Way of Delaware 211 team is hands down absolutely the best. Can we give them a round of applause? This group intentionally shows up and brings their A game to the table and to the organization every day. They are a committed, passionate, resilient group. And this isn't easy work that we do. And so I want to thank them because this couldn't happen without them. And a special shout out to my co-pilots, Dan Cruz, Lori Girardi, Tierra Fair, and Brian Cornett. And to Fallon McLean and Jeff Quiggle for helping to coordinate tonight's event. You all rock.
So make sure you follow us on social media. But Live United 2027, hashtag LU 2027, Live United or United in Purpose. I'm going to use a dean's term, Live United in Purpose. And if you have anything that has moved you to action, if you feel like you want to engage, the United Way is the place for you to find opportunity to support the communities that you live and love and learn and play and all those things. So lean into the United Way if you see the opportunity.
And so thank you in advance for making Live United 2027 transform the lives of Delawareans. So while that brings us to a formal close, please stay, eat, network, connect, make that community of individuals that's going to take to really make Live United 2027 a reality.
Thank you.